13 and 1. I didn't bring the dictionary because one of them big Random House dictionary about yay big, and I wasn't about to carry that. So I called myself trying to make a copy on my little copying machine there. So it came out a little, it didn't come out real clear. That's why the brother could have a little problem there. But now, we are reading here about some Israelites, some of Paul's companions. And we just read, Niger is black. That's what it means. The word Niger, it means black. It is a Latin word that means black. Now, start reading at Acts 13 and verse 1. Go ahead and read.
Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon.
Now, as Barnabas and Simeon, these were Israelites. Go ahead and read on.
That was called Niger.
That was called Niger. Why were they called? Niger means black, right? Yeah. Why did you have these Israelites being called Niger? Because they was black. That's why they was being called Niger. Go ahead and finish that up.
And Lucius of Cyrene and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul.
Now, let's go to, and Saul, which is Paul. Now, let's go to Acts chapter 21, and we'll begin reading at verse 30. Acts 21 and verse 30. 21 and 30. Now, we are going to read here about the Apostle Paul here. We know the Egyptians are black. You know, all of them. Don't nobody even argue that too much no more. You understand what I'm saying? Everything you have tells you that the Egyptians are a dark-skinned race of people. Almost nobody will argue you on that. You know, they even have it in some school textbooks now. Let me show you this picture here. I think I brought it with me. I hope I did. Maybe I did. No, I didn't bring it with me. But yeah, this is it right here. I saw this on the cover of a elementary school book. You understand what I'm saying? This. So everybody knows the Egyptians are dark-skinned race people, and ain't too many people gonna argue you about it either. But now, we are finding out that the Israelites look like the Egyptians. Let's start reading here at Acts chapter 21, and we'll begin reading at verse 30. And this is Paul. He was an Israelite. He told you of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin, and he was an apostle to the Gentiles, and that he magnified his office. Start reading at 21 and began reading at verse 30. Go ahead and read.
And all the city was moved, and the people ran together. And they took Paul and drew him out of the temple, and forthwith the doors were shut.
Now, you know, they accused Paul of bringing some Gentiles into the temple. So now, and this is what they did to him, because he was accused of that. They took him and they threw him out of the temple. Go ahead and read on.
And as they went about to kill him, tidings came unto the chief captain of the band that all Jerusalem was in an uproar.
Now, you know, they was about to kill him because Israel was big about stoning people.
Yes,
so now they was getting ready to kill Paul. So tidings went out that Jerusalem was in an uproar. Because, you know, when you got Israel around, there's always an uproar.
Yes, sir.
Because they always ready to rebel about something. You understand what I'm saying? You know who they are.
Yes, sir.
Always about something. So now, Jerusalem is in an uproar here. Go ahead and read on.
Who immediately took soldiers and centurions and ran down unto them. And when they saw the chief captain and the soldiers, they left beating of Paul. Then the chief captain came near and took him and commanded him to be bound with 2 chains, and demanded who he was and what he had done.
Now they wanted to know, you know, what have you done, Paul? That you know, these people getting ready to stone you here. So now, we're gonna give you Paul's reply. Go ahead and read. And what else they said as well. Go ahead and read.
Verse 34.
Go ahead.
And some cried one thing, some another, among the multitude. And when he could not know the certainty of the tumult, he commanded him to be carried into the castle. And when he came upon the stairs, so it was that he was borne of the soldiers for the violence of the people. For the multitude of the people followed after, crying, away with them. And as Paul was to be led unto the castle, he said unto the chief captain, May I speak unto thee? Who said, Canst thou speak Greek?
Now, you know, while they were leading Paul away, Paul said unto the captain, may I speak unto thee? And the captain said, can if you speak Greek? Go ahead and read on.
Art thou not that Egyptian, which before these days madest an uproar?
Wait a minute, they asked Paul, he said, aren't you that Egyptian that before these days made it up? They asking him now. Mm-hmm. This Israelite, isn't he that Egyptian? Yes, that before these days that made an uproar? Listen to what Paul said. Go ahead and read on.
And leddest out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers. But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city in Cilicia, a citizen of no mean city, and I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people.
Paul said, no, man, I am not that Egyptian. I am a Jew. You understand? So now here we have again a case of mistaken identity here, don't we? That's right, we got this Israelite being mistaken for an Egyptian here. Apparently he had to look like an Egyptian, didn't he? Yes, he had to. How else could he have been mistaken for an Egyptian if he did not look like an Egyptian?
Yes, sir.
And everybody knows the Egyptians are a dark-skinned race of people. Let's go look at another thing here. Let's go this time to Isaiah chapter 5. And we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Isaiah 5, and we're going to begin reading at verse 1. 5 and 1. 5 and 1. We're going to make our case, y'all. We're making it. And we're going to make it for the rest of this week. Because we got a lot of evidence that tells us that the real Israelites are a dark-skinned race of people. We got a lot of evidence. You're just going to get some of it today, then you're going to get some of it the next time. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 5, and we'll begin reading at verse 1. 5 and 1. 5 and 1. Okay, go ahead and read.
Now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved, touching his vineyard.
Go ahead.
My well-beloved hath a vineyard in a very fruitful hill.
And you know who this well-beloved is that had his vineyard? This is Jesus. And you know who the vineyard is? It is Israel, the nation of Israel. The book going to tell you that. Go ahead and read on.
And he fenced it and gathered out the stones thereof and planted it with the choicest vine.
In other words, he's dealing with when he brought Israel out of Egypt. You know, he put them in the land of Canaan, the land that he had promised. He set them in that land, and he gave them everything that they needed. And not only that they needed, but he even gave them beyond that. He fenced it, planted it in there, and fenced it about, and with the choicest vine. Go ahead and read on.
And built a tower in the midst of it, and also made a winepress therein.
Go ahead.
And he looked that it should bring forth grapes. And it brought forth wild grapes.
Go ahead.
And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard.
Go ahead.
What could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it?
Go ahead.
Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes. And now go to, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard.
Go ahead.
I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down.
In other words, I'm not going to take care of this vineyard anymore. You know, I'm going to move the hedge thereof. It's going to be torn down and tear down the walls thereof. And I'm not going to take care of this vineyard anymore. Go ahead and read.
And I will lay it waste. It shall not be pruned nor digged.
Go ahead.
But there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it.
Go ahead.
For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant.
So now we understand who the vineyard is. The vineyard is the men of Israel,
yes,
right?
Sir.
The nation of Israel. That is who the vineyard is. Go ahead and finish that verse up.
And he looked for judgment, but behold oppression. For righteousness, but behold a cry.
Now let's go and look at the keeper of the vineyard here. So he said, you know, he gave me this vineyard, and I ain't going to keep this vineyard no more. You know, because when I planted it, I looked for it to bring forth grapes, and what did it bring forth? Wild. It brought forth wild grapes. So I'm going to tear down the heads thereof, and I'm going to do everything, and I'm not going to take care of this vineyard anymore. Let's go and look at the color of the keeper of the vineyard. Let's go now to a Song of Solomon. Back up one book. Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 1. Read about the keeper of the vineyard. Show you what color the keeper of the vineyard is. Song of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 1. 1 and 1. Go ahead, read.
the Song of Songs